Hey, in case you missed the pet show today, are you boring your dog or your cat? Listen carefully. You know, in the 1970s, this was one of the first books I wrote. It's a book called Pet Aerobics. It's an exercise book for dogs and cats. As a matter of fact, I was called the Jane Fonda of the pet world, which I wasn't too thrilled about, believe me. Anyway, that being said, people realize the importance of exercise for their pets. They know exercise is really important in terms of helping behavior. But what a lot of people miss out on is mental stimulation. Sure, they'll take the dog for a run in the park, they'll take the dog for a ride in the car, but once they train their dog, heel, sit, stay down, and come, that's the extent of it. That's their education. They know what to do. Nothing could be further from the truth. Probably, of all the behaviors I deal with, the most common behavior is dogs and cats that are misbehaving based on the fact they're not getting enough mental stimulation. Let's take the average cat, for example. The average cat mentally is nomadic. In their mind, they roam, they go, they look, they see. But it's very dangerous for cats to be outside. So I'm an advocate of the indoor cat, provided you make the indoors outdoor interesting. So that's an example. Cardboard boxes, paper bags, change them every day, new scratching posts, grow organic plants. These are all things that are safe and good for your dog, or rather for your cat in the household. Now, what about your dog? You take them out for 3 walks a day, maybe 4 walks a day, maybe to the dog park. It's the same type of walk. It's the same dog park. Boring. What I need you to do is think out of the box. Take them to a different location. Walk around the block to the left instead of the right. Go on Neighborhood or one of those things where you can share and find other people in the neighborhood that may have a dog that's compatible with your dog so they can exercise together. Sometimes men have to speak to men. I sound so chauvinistic. Sometimes women have to speak to women. And sometimes dogs have to hang out with another dog to relate to them. So it's really important to take into consideration, especially from a behavior point of view. If you have a dog or cat that's chewing excessively, that's jumping on people, won't come back when you call them, a little bit rebellious, generally that's due to boredom or a lack of exercise. So again, if you increase the exercise factor, which we all know, jog with your dog, or throw a ball, whatever you need to do to get the energy out of him. But again, don't forget about the mind. The mind is what controls the way the dog behaves. So make sure there's a tremendous amount of mental stimulation. A lot of people say to me, Warren, well, my dog is trained. He knows how to sit, he knows how to stay, he knows how to heel. But let's take the average dog. A lot of dogs need a job. They need something to do, something new to learn. Can you imagine if you didn't learn something all the time, how bored you would be? That's why it's so critical to make sure you take the time to look at your dog, look at your cat and say, are they getting enough stimulation mentally? Am I giving them the opportunity to learn something new on a regular basis? These are all critical things. A lot of behaviors and trainers may disagree with me. They focus on the fact you got to train the dog here and train the dog there. And I understand the education of the dog is critical. But the most important thing that you can do to keep your dog healthy and to keep you sane is to, number one, make sure they're getting sufficient exercise. And even more important is to make sure you're keeping that mind going. Even if the dog knows everything, teach him something new. Maybe you want to get involved with some type of advanced training. Not that I care whether the dog responds to it all the time, but it gives you the opportunity to let the dog know there's more to sitting in the house and going for a walk around the block 3 days a week. So again, I know you love your guys as much as I do, but it's important to remember that if you do love your dogs, obviously you do, you're listening to the Pet Show with me, just make sure you take into consideration the way they feel sometimes. Oh, it's a dog, they can just hang out. Oh, it's a dog, he sleeps all day. Maybe he sleeps all day because he's bored. Maybe he sleeps all day because he has nothing to do. Increase the stimulation mentally, increase the stimulation physically, and you know what? You'll have the most incredible relationship you've ever had with your pet. They'll be healthier and happier, and you know what? So will you. And don't miss the Pet Show. And stay tuned for more YouTube posts in the future.